And you got your degree from?
Capstone Turbine Corporation in Chatsworth is one of a handful of companies manufacturing microturbines, and the only maker in California. A microturbine is actually a mini jet engine the size of a refrigerator that can generate about 30 kilowatts of electricity, enough to power 4 to 5 average-sized homes or a small business.
Every night to have that.
Yeah, it's one of those. All right, we have our group here.
Okay. President and CEO Aki Almgren believes.
Okay, what you've been watching is a video clip, a Life and Times KCT Life and Times piece from one of my clients, Capstone Financial. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. My name is Carl Dameron, and for the last 30 years, I've run Dameron Communications, which is a full-service advertising and public relations firm. We help clients sell more stuff. Now, a lot of people, when you ask them what's public relations, what's advertising, they'll give you a big, long description of it. But the bottom line, my job is to help businesses sell more stuff. And you say, well, I'm in the service business. I don't have any stuff to sell. Yes, you do. Your service. You'll say, wait a minute, I'm going to be in government. I don't have any stuff to sell. Well, what do you call water? What do you call roads? What do you call bridges? What do you say when you're the city of San Bernardino? This is not going to work. And you've got an overly restrictive charter amendment that forces you to spend 70 to 75% of your budget on police and fire. So now you've got to go to the voters and sell. Anytime I get you to change your mind from doing this to doing this, I have to get you to accept a new idea, and that acceptance is a transaction, so you are buying, you're buying into, and I'm the one who's getting you to buy into, so you have to sell that idea, and then the action, the buying action, is when you go to the polls and you vote. So, some people say, I'm a mercenary. I just say, I'm in advertising and public relations. But everyone sells. I'll tell you one of my favorite sayings. How many psychiatrists does it take to change a light bulb? 2. But the light bulb's got to want to change. We got 1 psychiatrist in there. They say you can't get help until you want to change, so you have to. So, what we have to do is get people to want to change. And the action of getting them to want to change, what is that? Whether that's to quit taking drugs or any other thing, it is transactional and it's selling. So, that's what I do. I've been doing that for 30 years. In my time, I've worked with over 400 businesses. I spent 2 years working in investment relations, where I worked directly with Wall Street Journal, CNBC, New York Times, Bloomberg, Reuters, to promote and advance stocks, to get them to go from 0 to $4, to launch new stocks. So with that, I work with small to mid-cap companies. Those are companies worth between $100 million and $50 billion. So, you ask me, do I understand small business? And then, my first job was pushing a lawnmower at 9 years old, 50 cents to cut your grass, but I hated to rake grass. So it was 50 cents to rake the grass. Because I learned early the #1 way to sell. When there's something you don't want to do, charge so much money that you want to do it. Okay? So, when you ask, how do I have the ability to talk about starting a business? I've worked with so many startups, from both a publicly traded company to a guy pushing a lawnmower, and everything in between. California Portland Cement, California State Department of Education, Riverside County, San Bernardino County, Los Angeles County, the South Coast Air Quality Management District. We launched Argosy University here in the Inland Empire. We launched the Art Institute of California here in the Inland Empire. We launched Brown and Mackey College in Southern California after I told them not to, and it failed, and then they brought in Argosy. So, we work with companies, small and big. So, we're going to talk about the easy way and the hard way. Here's the hard way to start a business. Name a business after yourself, like Dameron Communications. Go to City Hall, pay $100, get a city business license. Abracadabra, you're in business. This is a ribbon cutting for the Magnolia at 9th Street, which is a wonderful 110-unit rehab project in San Bernardino. That's the hard way. Anybody want to tell me why it's a hard way? I'm questioning. Do you know why it's a hard way? You guy with your, excuse me, what's your name? Paul.
I see no plan there. You're just...
Can you say that again?
There's no plan. It's just, hey, you got it, but then there's no plan.
Right.
It's going to fail because you have nothing going on afterwards.
Failure to plan is planning to fail. So, and how do I know this? Because that's how I started my business. Even though I have a degree and I knew better. This is the easy way. And you see this beautiful little thing over here? This is one of the introduction ads that we did for Argosy when we first launched. Okay, identify your business type. What do you want to sell? What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Identify business founders. When you say, it's my business, I'm the founder. I tell you something. I understand finance. I mean, I can talk the Wall Street Journal into running a story about a company that's losing money. I was reminded by the Wall Street Journal editor, just in the western United States, there are over 10,000 companies, and everybody wants to be in the Wall Street Journal every day. So, you got to convince them to do that. But you need business founders. So, if I'm doing finance, and I'm doing client acquisition, and I'm doing creative development, and I'm doing public relations, and I'm doing media buying, and I'm doing media planning, does anybody see the hole in this? I can't do it all. And when you're starting up, not only can you not do it all, you don't know what you don't know. You ever have this dream where you have this brilliant idea and it is just incredible? And you wake up and you start writing it down and you go, what the heck was I thinking? We do that to ourselves when we go in business by ourselves. So, reach out to your people around you. If you just want to do it by yourself, that's fine. But I would say identify founders, get a partner, get a group of people, like-minded people to do it together so you can share the load. Right? I got a friend who is a cost accountant, graduated from Florida A&M with degrees in finance, economics, and accounting, cum laude. Went to work for U.S. Steel. Right? He, cost accountant. He helped me in my finance starting up. But the key is you need to find the people who want to do accounting. I'm a creative. I hate accounting. So you need to surround yourself. Create a business plan. Why do you want to plan? Because failure to plan is planning to fail. Find a business attorney. Not your brother-in-law. Not your sister-in-law. Right? Not somebody who owes you a favor. The best business attorney you can find. You know why? You tell me why. Oh, great Dean?
Not Dean, no, just program. Sure. What? Because you'd always want to start with the best. You always want to start with the best. You would not want to go start with the second best.
Because as fabulous as I am, I'm a human being.
Absolutely.
And that means I'm going to make mistakes. And let me tell you, I've made some really, really expensive mistakes. And you know what lawyers do? They stop you from making expensive mistakes, and when you make expensive mistakes, they make them cheaper. Every client, every vendor, everybody you work with is going to want you to sign a contract. Are you an attorney?
Paralegal.
Paralegal. Awesome. Do you know everything about business law?
No.
That's why you have your attorney read all your contracts. If you don't have your attorney read all your contracts, you find that you have signed a proposal agreement with the County of San Bernardino that says that all of your proposal is now become their property and they can use it without compensating you, period. So, 5 people apply, I've got the best proposal, but Paul's their friend, so Paul gets the job and Paul uses my proposal to run the campaign. Your attorney tells you, don't apply. Unless they change that contract. Don't work for them for free. Okay, got it? Find a CPA, not a bookkeeper. Big difference. CPA means Certified Public Accounting. Who in here has read the tax code? From this floor to about this here. Who here plans to read the adjustments that come out every year? CPA does. Got a team of people. My best year, we grossed almost $5 million, and I made $60,000. Of taxable income. Ah, the magic word, taxable income. We wrote off everything. When I go on vacation, right? I stop by and do a client pitch in that city. Even though 9 times out of 10, or 90 out of 100, I'm not getting the contract. You know why? It's now a business trip.
Yes.
And I can write off the whole trip. Now, I take my wife and kids with me. I can't write off theirs, but I can write off mine. I can write off my room. I can write off the rent-a-car. Got it? CPAs will tell you about all the financial tricks. They help you put together your business properly so that you have the right actions in order so that you can be successful. Okay. Create an advisory board. You don't know what you don't know. Find those people that you respect, 3 to 10 of them, and ask them to serve on your advisory board. You'll have 1 meeting per quarter, 1 to 2 hours. Why? Because you need their help. Because they know. And then diversify that advisory board so that you have an accountant, an attorney, a CPA, da-da-da-da-da. Okay. Your attorney and your CPA review your business plan. Why?
For the mistakes.
Now you can say, my attorney charges me $400 an hour, my CPA charges me $200 an hour, and it's going to take them, $3,000 to review the business plan that I wrote. Let me tell you, it'll save you tens of thousands of dollars later. Let me tell you, it will save you tens of thousands of dollars. Determine the legal structure of your business. Now you notice, legal structure is way down here. People say, well, you need to know your legal structure before you do your plan. Ha 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 ha. Okay, what do you want to be legal structure? Sole proprietor, partnership, a limited liability corporation, a privately held corporation, a a limited stock corporation or a big corporation like General Electric who sells stock. Well, if you want to be like that big one that sells stock, you just added $250,000 a year on your expenses. So most people are thinking that they'll start as a sole proprietorship or a partnership. Never, ever, ever, ever be a partnership. Because as much as I love my good friend and my other good friend, each one of them has the ability to sign contracts that make me liable for the money. So she signs a contract with her brother-in-law for $2 million a year. 5-year contract. We're on the hook. Period. You can say she doesn't have the authority. Yes, she does. She's a partner. So, I say look at an LLC or corporation to start out with. To save yourself money. Now, if you have no money and you're just starting up from nothing, you can be a sole proprietor, but change and change quickly. Okay, now you get your federal employee identification number, but you got to know what you're going to be first. Because when you get your EIN, employee identification number, which is your company's social security number, which you need if you're going to pay taxes, right? It's done to, you have to identify what entity you are. And if you haven't decided, you can't get it. Okay. Then you get your state tax ID number from the state franchise tax board, and both of these are easy. You can call and get it over the phone, or go online and you can have it the same day or within 1 to 3 days. So people think it's easy, so I'll do that. But once you get those numbers, you keep those numbers forever. Forever. Okay? Now, locate your business. Now, locate your financing or obtain your financing. When you say, I'm going to finance it out of my pocket. If you say that, let's talk afterwards. Doesn't mean you got lots of money. But you want to, some people say, well, I'm going to put my business plan together, I'm going to go to the bank. Bank's not going to, you're a startup, bank's not going to give you any money. Bank's not going to give you a dime. Entrez-vous. Bank's not going to give you a dime. It's not going to give you any money. You know why? What were your sales last year, sir? Paul?
0.
Rudy, what are your sales going to be next quarter?
Huh?
Exactly. You got nothing and you don't know. Are you going to loan money to your unemployed brother-in-law who's sleeping in his car, but he needs you to loan him $10,000? Is that going to happen?
No.
Anybody want to say yes, please raise your hand so I can talk to you after the meeting.
You're not my brother.
Okay, so you got to get the financing. That's going to come from you. It's going to come from your friends. It'll come from the mortgaging your house. It'll come from taking your money out of your 401k or your retirement fund. Or your parents' house, your parents' retirement fund. You understand how important this is that we set up this company? When now you've mortgaged your house, you've used all your financial reserves, you got your mom and your dad's retirement, and you're in Vegas at the crap table shooting crap. And I say that because the first 5 years, 90% of businesses fail. And they fail because they try to do things the easy way. The hard way is the easy way. So now you got your finance services, right? You got your financing. Don't offer wild repayment interest. Don't say, well, I'll pay it back at 15% interest. You know why? One, you can't afford it. Two, anybody offering you more than 10% interest is either a liar, a thief, or related to Bernie Madoff.
Which is the same.
Yeah, but you know, I gotta slide my joke in there. Okay, so that's where your CPA and your attorney come in. Now your CPA and your attorney may know some people who might want to invest in your business. Now your advisory board may know some people who might want to invest in your business. But you get your investment, okay? You select the payroll service. Never, ever, ever do your own payroll unless you're grossing over $10 million a year. Remember we talked about those IRS's laws? HR laws are this tall. Changes are this tall. Every year. You got time to review all that? What's the minimum wage in California? What?
$7.50.
Going up to 9.
$7.50 is federal. California, $8.50. How much do you have to make before I can put you on salary? What's the minimum? Let's say I know I'm going to be working you 60 hours a week, and I want to pay that overtime, so I'm going to put you on salary. What's the minimum amount you can make before I put you on salary? Do you know? Do you know? Does anybody know? Twice minimum wage. So, $8.50 times 2, $17 an hour. If you're not getting paid $17 an hour, you can't be on salary. And if you are on salary, guess what? Not only do I owe you for the back wages at the hourly rate of $17 an hour, right? But I also owe you 100% penalty for unpaid amount per day. Yes, that sinking feeling in the bottom of your stomach is why you want to have a payroll service. Because you don't know what you don't know. They do. And for $100 a month, they'll do your payroll for you, they'll pay your people, and they'll track all that crap. So you can get back to selling stuff and making money. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you open 3 bank accounts. Say I only need 1. No, you need 3. A general account, a payroll account, because payroll and all the payroll taxes go in the payroll account. Because when you make a mistake on your general account and your people's paychecks bounce, they get very, very upset. It'll cost you a 20% loss in productivity and take you up to 2 years to get it back. 20%. Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
Great.
I don't think you can get through it.
I believe I can.
She's on a mission. I want her on my team. She's charted a course and she's going to go through. All right, so payroll and then savings. Why do you want a savings account?
You can save. Keep it away from the other two.
Right. I have a wife and 2 lovely daughters.
That's your savings account right there.
And they have this miracle, magical ability to divine how much money is in my wallet and need that much money today. So I usually walk around with no money in my wallet. I have money in my wallet now, but I left before they did, so. But money in your savings account says this is money I do not spend. Just like your personal account, pay yourself first. Just like your personal finances, pay yourself first. That means 10% goes into savings. You know why we have rainy day funds? Because I guarantee you, it's gonna rain.
There's a song that says it never rains in Southern California. It pours. And baby, I have been through some storms that have soaked me to the bone. So you gotta have those.
10% of what?
10%, there's your gross and your net. If General Electric, one of the best run countries in the world, has a 10% net profit. So you take 10% of your net and you put it in savings. Now some of you are going to say, well, I can't afford to do that. Yes, you can. Okay, select your office or your manufacturing space. Now, this is really, really important. Does anybody know why the Inland Empire thrives so much? Why we've got all these big box retailers and all these big office parks?
Taxes.
What?
Taxes.
Nope.
Cheap rental space?
Say it like you mean it.
Cheap rental space?
Right. The Inland Empire Economic Partnerships, chief economist John Husing says cheap dirt. Cheap dirt. You can rent warehouse space in the Inland Empire for 50 cents a square foot.
That is cheap.
You know what it costs in LA County? $5 a square foot. I'm looking at space in Orange County to do a big project. So it's space like this, $17.50 a square foot. In the Inland Empire, decent space, $1. Really nice space, $2.50 to $3 a square foot. You understand now why selecting where you're going to be is very important. Got a client, LaSalle Medical Associates. When he started his practice 30 years ago, right? He looked at the market and said the upper end market is full. It's full. There's no more room. So I'm going to go after Medi-Cal patients because nobody wants to serve Medi-Cal patients. Well, the problem is Medi-Cal patients only paid about $30 a visit. While a private patient, you know, when I go in private patient, you can charge me $150, $50, $60, right? Well, the guys charging that top rate moved into $5 square foot offices. He moved into 25 cents a square foot offices. You understand? Mm-hmm. You see why you get your office space after you got a plan, after you talk to your advisors, after you know what you're going to do. You don't need, if you are a business that your clients don't come to you, you don't need a prestigious address. Doesn't matter where you are. If you're manufacturing, you know, you don't need to be, you need to pick where it's most advantageous for you to be. Okay, rent, lease, or buy office equipment. This is one of the most important lessons I ever learned. First copier I bought was a lease, $12,000. After 2 years, it was wrong, and I needed to get a bigger one. They said, sure. You trade that one in, and we'll give you a new one. Then you read, and you see that, yeah, but the unspent $6,000 of that contract, they tack it on to the back of the new one, and then they take the machine from you and sell it to somebody else. Did you hear that? Mm-hmm. So you're going to trade your car in. They're going to make you take your previous payment, tack it on top of the new payment, and take the car. So I learned something. My next copier, I bought for $2,500. It was a refurb. A company had used it for 2 years. They turned it in. I bought it for $2,500. So it's mine, I own it, and then I bought a maintenance plan on it. $2,500. The first year, it paid for itself. So after a year, if it failed, I could throw it out.